What's up guys, I am Holly and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found this. And today I'm giving you guys 3 go-to healthy meals that I keep in my rotation almost every week. They're very simple to make. You'll see I'm not fancy at all in the kitchen and they don't take a lot of time, which is great. I'm gonna go through all the steps here today, and if you have questions or need substitutions on anything, drop those in the comments and I will get to them so we can make sure all of these meals work for all of you. Let's get started. Okay, we're gonna get started with salmon with asparagus and potatoes. Now, I buy the pre-cut salmon at Whole Foods, the Atlantic salmon, just like that. Then I don't even have to wait at the counter. But if you're cooking for more people, this I get 2 meals out of, but if you're cooking for more, obviously you can get a big piece, have them cut it down, whatever. Asparagus, I just got 1 bunch. I literally can eat an entire one of these in 1 meal, but today we're gonna make it 2 meals just to keep things simple. 2 red potatoes. These I like more obviously than sweet potatoes. I say obviously because I said it in another video that I just don't really care for those, but they're small and just easy to make into 1 meal. And then the russet potatoes I feel like get kind of dry, especially if I steam them. So we're gonna use the red potatoes today. I'm gonna wash this asparagus. I've already preheated my oven to 375. Sometimes I'll do 400 for the salmon, but it won't go in for like longer than 15 or 16 minutes. So I'm gonna wash this asparagus and then I'm gonna prep the salmon and then throw it in the oven. So I washed the asparagus and now I'm gonna get the pan ready with the salmon and season it, and then we're gonna throw that in. Then we'll get working on chopping the asparagus and getting the potatoes ready. So for the salmon, I use these Pyrex dishes. I got a set of 2 of them. I'll link them down below, just from Bed Bath & Beyond online. Super cheap, well not super cheap, but like pretty cheap. And they're great, they're just oven safe, pretty lightweight, and they have handles, which is good. So what I'll do is I'll line this with a tiny bit of olive oil. I don't use foil or anything, I just do that right in the pan here, and then I'll set the salmon right on top. Okay, so we have the salmon done. I put the olive oil in there and then I actually rolled them once each, so you have a little bit of oil on the top as well. I realized it just tasted a little bit better coming out of the oven this way because it holds on to the seasoning more and it makes it like a little bit more of a crust or whatever. Now I'm gonna show you the blend of seasoning I've been using. I got this at Costco, but it's literally just garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Garlic on salmon maybe is questionable. I don't know. I just have played with different things. I usually just do salt and pepper plain, or I'll do like a seafood rub. But I found this and I've been loving it, and it's pretty simple. It just doesn't taste like a lot, which is how I want it. So anyway, I'm gonna put this on the top right now. Don't do too much on any of these kind of blends with salt in there because there's actually quite a bit of salt, and I have learned the hard way. So we are going to dump a little bit right here, getting the second shot for you guys. Now, the oven is ready like I said, so I'm gonna throw this in and then we're gonna get started on the asparagus. So I'm gonna start, you saw those pieces were pretty little. They're maybe like 1 inch plus thick. Well, probably a little thicker than that. I'm gonna start with 15 minutes and then see how they're doing. Usually that's pretty much good. Sometimes I'll have to do it like 2 or 3 minutes more depending on the size. So I'm gonna set that right now. And now we're gonna cut up the asparagus. So I like to do it in actually little bits, like 2-inch pieces, obviously cut off the ends, and then we're gonna steam it in the microwave. I like to do this in sections so I don't chop my hand off or you know, have it flying all over the place. As I'm going, I'm actually gonna put it in the Tupperware, and then I'll add a little bit of water at the end, so I'll show you that. But I think this will fit everything, so I'm gonna throw these in as I go, just to make space on the cutting board. Okay. I freaking love asparagus. I think it's like, I don't know, it just tastes really good to me. It has like, you know, a distinct flavor. And it's not as hard on your stomach, to me, as like broccoli and cauliflower and all that. I know it's dense or like fibrous, but it just doesn't do the same thing to me, and I just like it. And I might be wasting kind of a lot on the ends here, but I really don't like that white part. So, a couple more sections here. Also, I have no cutting technique. Again, this is not a food channel. It's not a cooking channel. Just trying to show you that even like basic human beings can cook healthy. Okay, so this is ready to go. I'm gonna put like a centimeter of water in here, And then I'm gonna loosely cover this, like this. It's not even gonna be closed all the way. And I'm gonna do 3 minutes on this. So that's in the microwave, and now we're gonna do the potatoes. What we're gonna do is rinse these off. We're gonna pierce them with a fork, and then we're going to wrap them in wet paper towels and steam those. And that will also take about 3 minutes or so. Okay, so I've pierced both of them. I swiped the paper towels through the water one more time so they're pretty damp. Put it in like this, and then I'm just gonna roll them up kind of loosely like little burritos. Like this. Roll it up. And now when the asparagus is done, which should be any second now, I am going to switch these out. So I'll take those out, we'll check them, and then we're gonna put these in. I'm gonna put both of these in at the same time because they're small. And again, I'm gonna start with 3 minutes and go from there and see. Okay, we're gonna check these with a fork. I like to just poke in here pretty lightly, just if it easily sticks in, they're basically done. It's tough when you have so much jam-packed in here because it kind of gets some of them more than others. And honestly, if you have a little bit longer to go, like not too much, you can just put the lid back on and then just let it stay there and let it kind of steam itself a little bit more. My mom taught me that. I wanna go like 45 seconds to a minute more on these, and then we'll dump the water. So we're gonna do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so salmon I think might be done, so we're gonna check it right now, and then the potatoes just finished, so it's all coming together right now. This is a different oven than I'm used to using, so it feels like it's a lot more powerful. We're gonna check it out and see. So it looks pretty good actually, and it's like crispy on the top, which is what we did with that oil and the seasoning. I'm gonna use a spatula right now to check and see if the inside is done. And everyone likes their fish differently. I don't like mine too done at all, but I don't like it super raw that it tastes kind of like jelly in the middle. So we're gonna check it right now. Okay, I took the potatoes out of the paper towels. Don't burn yourself when you do this. Also, just know I never had the raw salmon or anything on this cutting board. I always keep that separate. I actually had it just in the container and just in the Pyrex, and then this was for the vegetables. So just clarifying. The potatoes look like this. Oh my God, I'm burning myself right now, but they're like a little shriveled up in the skin. Otherwise good to go. And now what I'll do is basically slice them in little medallions, I guess you would say. So let's get this out of the way. Okay, yeah. Sometimes you can even use, well, whatever. I'm just gonna burn my hand for you guys. And then we'll do a little bit of olive oil at the end. I am not gonna cut this one yet because we're gonna save it for another meal when I eat the other piece of salmon, so we are just gonna leave that one be, but I'll cut it into pieces like this. Okay, yeah. And then, let me grab a plate. So we can put everything together. I'm going to throw the potatoes just on here like this. I love the potato skin. And I'm gonna grab olive oil, but sometimes I like to use butter as like a healthy fat. I get like French butter, it's so good. And I'll just do a tiny little drizzle on here. All right. We're going to plate the salmon. I always like to do the piece that's not broken in half, the one that I tested, because you know, you want it to look prettiest first. Thing is the asparagus, like I said, sorry for all the camera angles and all over the place. I'm gonna do half of this with this meal and then the rest will be for the others. So I'll just portion this out. I don't put anything on my asparagus. We had oil and seasoning on the salmon and we had oil on the potatoes, so that is gonna do it for me as far as like extra stuff goes. If you want additional salt, which if you're working out quite a bit, I don't think you need to be limiting on your salt because you need electrolytes, you need to stay hydrated. And what I mean by that is not cramping from lack of salt, lack of sodium. So just make sure you're staying on top of all that. Talk to your doctor about what you need. But for me, I'll sometimes add a little extra salt if it's like summertime, but right now it's fine. There you go, guys, super easy. Potatoes, salmon, and asparagus, ready to go. And as far as leftovers go, you can keep things separate, you can put it together. I find, maybe not with salmon, but with the other stuff we're gonna make, you can put things all together just so like it's ready to go as one meal and then you don't even have to separate and heat things separately, if that makes sense. For this, I'll probably do the salmon and potatoes and asparagus in different containers, but normally if it was like chicken and rice or something, you could just put it all together so it's ready to go. So meal number one done. Now we are going to make a breakfast type bowl, and we're gonna finish with a dinner/lunch option. Meal number two is going to be a breakfast bowl that I make frequently. We're gonna do brown rice. You can use any rice you want. This is the frozen one from Whole Foods. You could even do this, which I bought, I showed you guys at the store, the basmati rice. Any of these rices in the bag, super easy as well. I just keep frozen rice around and I feel like brown rice today. I'm actually gonna eat this after. And we are gonna mix in some spinach. As a bonus, I'm gonna grab a couple of those little mandarin oranges too, and we can put those on the side for a little extra, depending on what you are eating this after or before. But we're gonna do the eggs over easy-ish. We're gonna heat up the brown rice in the microwave, and we're gonna throw the spinach in raw, and it's gonna kind of wilt down. So you're gonna see this is very, very fast. So I poured the brown rice in. I'm filling this almost all the way up because I'm gonna use some of it now and then just have the rest ready to go. The nice thing about the bags is you can just portion out what you need, but I always like to take the opportunity to at least make 2 servings worth, and then you have it, like I said, in the fridge. So lightly open here, just the same as we did the asparagus, and I'm gonna do, I believe it's like 2 minutes with this, like per portion, in the microwave right now, and then we're gonna get started on the eggs. These are the pasture raised Vital Farms eggs, which I love. We're gonna do 2 today. Little drizzle of olive oil. You can also use butter. I'm a big fan of butter, obviously in moderation, but if you're not getting fats in otherwise, it's a nice little addition, and I honestly think there's some benefit. I forget, I think it's like brain health or something. I don't know. My mom's a big butter fan. Not on everything, but you know, again. So here we go. I'm going to turn this on. This is a super strong stove, so we're gonna go like medium heat. Actually, we're gonna go kind of low because honestly guys, the over easy thing is new to me. I am just not skilled. So I did some drizzle in there. It's too much for me, so I'm actually gonna use this paper towel. Let's get a little bit of that out. Toss that. All right. And we're gonna crack 2 eggs. I used to eat 3 eggs a lot, and I realized it was just like a lot of fucking food. depending on like what I've been doing. I mean, 3 eggs for a guy for sure, or more. I know a lot of guys eat a lot of eggs, but like 2 is plenty. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Himalayan pink salt, love this. I just like the taste of it. I don't know what the health benefits are compared to other things. Couple squeezes there. Showing all the camera angles, black pepper. So interesting, my mom was kind of telling me that like black pepper, or pepper on eggs, she's like, it's a taste thing. You either like the taste or you don't, but you don't need to put both on eggs just because you put both on everything else. And I thought that was an interesting remark. So for some reason today, I feel like we need it. I'll let it set a little bit. And then we've got the spatula ready. So what I like to do is, hoping you guys can see this. Let's try zooming in. Again, thanks for coming along the ride for me learning how to film cooking. This is very difficult. Okay, so I'm gonna split down the middle right here just to give it a little bit more breathing room. And it probably needs to even go, we'll go a little higher on the heat. Tiny bit. Cool. And we'll just split that down the middle as it starts to harden. And then that'll make it easier too for me to kind of fold and flip it. And I just like this texture when it goes on the rice. And then runny enough that the yolk can kind of help with the spinach. And you'll see what I mean when we're done here, because I'm not gonna season or add anything to any other parts of this meal. So we separate this. This isn't gonna be pretty, I told you it wouldn't be. And also I just learned this trick, if you break up the rest of the white like around the yolk, that also helps it even out. But like, who knows? Turning it off. Not pretty, but what you want to do is leave it running now, because I'm gonna have to set this for a second while I get the rice, everything set up in a bowl, and we don't want it to overcook, so this is kind of perfect. I know it looks like garbage, but we just have to deal with that. Okay, took the rice out. Steaming right here, and then what you're gonna do is use a fork, and you're just gonna fluff it. Just kind of get it all mixed up in here. You can add a little bit of olive oil if you want to keep it unstuck, especially like I'm gonna save some of this for later. It will keep it from like sticking to the container. And then if you want to add a little salt, that's fine. I'm not today, because like I said, I'm just gonna keep the seasoning I had on the eggs. So while this is still hot, I'm going to grab a bowl. Again, measurements I've talked about before, I don't really do that, but I'll show you for one meal. Again, if it's like breakfast, so you can kind of gauge. It's like a good chunk, good handful there. And then we are going to grab the spinach out of this bag. I'm gonna do one handful in here, and I'm gonna basically, that was really loud. I'm gonna fold it into the rice so the rice kind of steams it with the heat. So probably, let's hope it doesn't drop, this much. Don't be scared of it. Going to come down, and then we're gonna fold the rice into the spinach. I'm gonna do this off camera, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, you guys can see it finally is starting to wilt down, and you get the idea. Now I'm gonna add the eggs on top, and we are gonna be good to go. Okay, and we're just gonna drop the eggs, just kind of fold them right on top. Okay guys, again, not pretty, but finished product. We have the 2 eggs on there, the rice is under there, and then the spinach, you just get some extra greens. Bonus points if you want to add the Yellowbird sriracha. A couple little, I'm not a spicy person. This isn't actually too spicy. It has a little like sweet kick to it because they used date in there. I mean, this shit is so good. So yeah. That's that. That is gonna be my breakfast. I did a workout already this morning, so I'm gonna have that now, and then we will finish with our third meal. Yeah, and don't forget on your breakfast, if it's not enough what I showed you, add a little bit of fruit. So I bought these. I'll just kind of like put the little slices on the side, like 1 or 2 of them. or berries or grapes or something like that. And that's just some additional carbs and calories on the side of your breakfast, depending on what you need. This brings us to our third and final meal. One of my favorites, we're doing ground turkey with shiitake mushroom and yellow onion, and we're doing zucchini and whole wheat pasta. We're gonna combine everything in one bowl. You're noticing a theme here. So the vegetables are already washed. We're using half of an onion from a meal I made a couple days ago. Same with the shiitake mushrooms. We are just using the rest of a package I already had. And we are using ground turkey. And I have an opinion on this. They make 99% fat-free whatever turkey. I think that tastes like garbage, and it just comes out really like, I don't have a better word than bouncy, but it's just like, it's like gross. So anyway, I just get the plain ground turkey from Whole Foods, and you can get this at Trader Joe's, obviously anywhere, or you can get it over the counter and get the exact amount you want. But this will give me at least, this package alone will give me at least 3 meals, if not 4. And I already have water boiling for the pasta, and we're gonna get into chopping the veggies. So the shiitake mushrooms come packaged, the ones I get, and I like to cut them up in just like probably this into 3s, if that makes sense. So get every piece to basically like this size. I pretty much diced the onion, and don't judge me for my cutting technique. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but it's diced, and that's way too much for this meal, so I'm gonna only use a portion of it. Anyway, I'm gonna cut up the rest of these mushrooms right now. So I'm gonna use a medium-sized pan, also from Target. This is a Tefal Optimal Technology brand pan. Anyway, you need to know that. Let's stir this so it doesn't go too crazy. I think this pasta's almost done. Actually, yeah, I think that's basically done. All right, we're gonna turn that off. Cool. And you know what, pause 1 sec, let me drain this. Okay, straining this pasta, we're gonna put it back in the pot, and then I'm gonna add a little olive oil and salt and let it just sit while we finish the rest of everything else. You can see that's, well, I think you can see, basically easily 2 meals worth. This is a pretty small pan for context, but anyway. Let's throw some olive oil in there. Bit. And then I'm going to top with salt. And stir it up one more time. Really important if you're doing the brown rice pastas, they tend to get like super glued to the sides of the pan, so you really want to do something, olive oil, butter, whatever it is, while it's still hot, otherwise it's just going to stick horribly. So I guess that was definitely less than 10 minutes. Now we know on the pasta. And now I'm gonna throw the onion and mushroom with oil into this pan. So we're gonna do like 3 or 4 minutes just to get that simmering. And then I'm gonna add the meat. So I'm stirring up the onion and mushroom right now, and I forgot to say that I normally use minced garlic in here as well, but I forgot to bring it to the house. So we're gonna be using that garlic, salt, and pepper mix that we used in the salmon for this as well. So I just have a little oil in here, just gonna let this get going. I have it on like medium heat, but I might turn that lower. And then I'm gonna throw the seasoning in while this is going. Actually, no, I'll do that once we get the meat in there. So we'll give this 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll add that in. So you can see that it's getting pretty brown now, And I'm not gonna add more oil because there's oil and like fat in the turkey. So we're gonna add that in now. Put this in. Don't cook the paper. Take that off. Okay, so we're gonna throw some of this salt, pepper, and garlic seasoning on. Again, eyeball it. It's probably fine. And you can always add a little bit of extra salt later if you want, but remember we can't go backward on that, so don't overdo it. Okay. And we'll mix this up. Now, if you want to make this more Italian, by all means add tomatoes, either from a can, which I do sometimes, or like a full-on Rao's, you know, Italian sauce to make this like a meal, or like, you know, Italian-esque. But I, again, am plain and I don't feel like doing that today, so we're just gonna do this. We're almost done. You wanna leave a little bit of pink in here, not too much. This is almost done, not quite. But don't do it all the way till it's completely like tan, brown, whatever, because it's gonna be tough. And then when you microwave, you know, whatever you don't eat for future meals, you know, you still want it a little ways to go, just so it's not so tough to eat. Okay, final thing we have to do now is chop the zucchini. We're going to do circles and then cut those in half, and we're gonna steam this in the microwave for 3 minutes. Everything else is done. We're gonna combine it after. We're so close. Okay, so everything's chopped the way I want it. We're gonna put this in Tupperware again. Okay. And then, okay, wow. Fun fact with zucchini, you don't need to add water. It is super water dense as is, so we can just leave. I'm gonna fill this up with that. And then again, you know the drill, lightly with the lid, and we're gonna try for, I think 2.5 to 3 minutes on this, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay guys, just about done. I have portioned out the pasta with the ground turkey mushroom onion mix in these 2 containers, and we even still had some turkey left over, so I put it aside. It's hard to show you context for how big this is, but anyway, this would be about a portion for me for sure. And now I'm gonna split this in 2 across the 2 servings and mix it up. Okay, there you have it. That is the final meal. If this is not enough, you want something else on the side, grab a handful of whatever your favorite salad greens are. These are mine. I'll do that. And then one of the Primal Kitchen dressings. I love the lemon turmeric one. So freaking good. I'll just put that on the side of my meal. Otherwise, you're set. Add salt to taste if you need it, but that is the third. On the zucchini, don't forget, even though we didn't add water, make sure you drain it out after you're done microwaving. You'll see all the water that came out, and you don't want to get all your other stuff watery, so don't forget. All right, guys, there you go. A few healthy meal ideas. No, I'm not a professional cook, and I'm certainly not a professional videographer, but I did my best to show you how I make quick, easy, healthy meals. I really make these meals all the time. That was not a show. I really do it, and now I'm kind of set for the week, so thank you for making me do that. If you guys need substitution requests or any kind of like advice around cooking, drop in the comments. I'll do what I can to help you, but just know it's not as complicated as you think. I will have tons more videos coming, not just food, not just fitness, and I can't wait to see you guys in there. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them, and I will see you guys another day.